Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Let's Get Loud podcast. This is a solo podcast episode with A. How is everyone? Happy Friday. If you are listening to this live, it is Friday, May 23rd. Where has the year gone? Where has May gone? Is this what happens when you're just so busy? I think this is what happens. I need time to stop right now. I need time to calm down. I feel like my children are growing into more Alfie is like hitting it hard right now with puberty, and his voice is changing, his jawline is changing, he's getting taller, and I just can't handle it. It feels like I'm losing my baby, but in the same time growing into this like amazing human. So I'm like so happy, but it's just a wild ride of parenthood watching him get this old. Speaking of Alfie, if you guys follow me on social, you will know that Alfie tried out for Team New Brunswick football, which was an incredible accomplishment for him. I actually told him I wanted to have him on the podcast. I want Alfie to tell his story. Real quick, Alfie was diagnosed with a learning difference in grade 2 that impacts his gross motor skills. And where he was then to where he is now is 100% due to his mindset around trying things that he is not good at and his perseverance. And I feel like there's an incredible lesson there. So I would love for you guys to hear it out of Alfie's mouth. I'm going to ask him to come on the podcast and tell his story. And I also like wanted to be like recorded. Anyways, so Alfie made Team New Brunswick. So this means a lot of football. And because it's Team New Brunswick, practices are all over New Brunswick. Now it's not too bad. It's in Oromocto. My parents live in Fredericton, so it's close. Neil and Alfie are going this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and then next weekend I'm going to take the girls and I'm going to do that shift in Oromocto. And then there's some in Sackville, there's some in St. John, and then he plays Nova Scotia. So they play twice, once here, once in Nova Scotia. It's pretty exciting. It's play at Acadia. They do they go down on the coach. It's going to be just such a special time for him. So, anyways, that's what's going on in my house. And the girls are playing basketball and. It's just a very full season. The end of the school year is just like so extra. It's like, we're going to do all these fun things. And all I'm doing is signing permission slips and trying to remember that you need to wear blue one day, purple the next day, to send $3 for ice cream. It's just like the mental load of it. Are you guys feeling the same way? I hesitate to say I'm ready for summer. I'm like saying that out loud. I love my time at in my home alone at my in my office sitting at my desk. Like I love it. And I think part of it comes from that like I've chosen jobs with flexibility when it comes to when I work, but I still need to work. And when the kids are home, there's like guilt connected with working. There's guilt connecting with moving my body. And I just like the routine where everyone goes away for a good 7 hours and then they come back and I'm ready for them to be back. That's the only thing that's holding me back. But I mean, I'm so ready for the slower mornings. That'll be nice. Not making lunches. I must say, I feel like the kids are at an age where if they're not playing with their friends, if they're not playing sports, they almost want to be on their device, which I don't love. But the kids have been playing board games. They've been playing cards with us. We do camp a lot in the summer. The girls especially have gotten into reading lately, which I'm so grateful for. It's something I've really been trying to facilitate for a long time, but you can't force something like that. I was like getting them a book, giving them the time, and they'd be like, I don't want to read tonight. I want to write in my journal or I want to color. I was giving them that like quiet time before bed, but they both have found books that they really love, and they're reading. So more Piper than Phoebe, but so I'm like hoping we can have some reading time. Anyways, summer brings new routines. It's all good. We also have like the house that a lot of kids end up at, I think because we have a pool. I don't know. Alfie sent me this reel and it was like POV, you're the fun house and it's like a soft serve ice cream maker. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, if we get that, no one is ever leaving our house ever again. I want my house to be the house, but not like the house, right? Anywho's, just that's what's on my brain and that's what I'm thinking about. But I'm going to come to you guys today with a conversation about early morning workouts. So I posted some content about getting up early. And I said, it actually got a little bit of hate, which that's how you made it on the internet. Not hate, but like there was a negative there was a negative thing. Okay, let me just show you what I said. So I just said, I don't go to the gym at 5 a.m. to be hardcore. It's because I'm about to commit 16 hours to pouring into everyone else, and this is my time. And I genuinely feel that way. Um, and I just love the environment of working out with less people. Like making, we always say when you're trying to create a new habit, make it pleasurable. Well, for me, going to the gym when it's packed is not pleasurable. Like I do not want to be there. I don't want to look at anyone. I don't want to, definitely don't want to touch anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone when I'm at the gym. I want to get in, I want to do my thing, and I want to leave. And so the morning is the perfect time for that. So I had a conversation with someone and she was like, oh, I want to be that person. Give me tips. And at first, I was like, I don't have any tips. I always do that. I don't know why. It's like I revert back to like, someone will ask me how I've accomplished something. I'm like, I just did it. But I didn't just do it. Like there's systems behind it. So I just need to pause for a minute and like actually think about what I have done to show up for myself. So this is a great episode for anyone that is looking to change a habit and or start waking up early. So here's what I want to paint picture for you is I decided I wanted to wake up early. I wanted to go to the gym early. The very first thing I did was wake up early. And I would wake up at 6 a.m., which is an hour before my home wakes up. And I would go downstairs on the couch and work. But I would save and I would pick like fun work, easy work, like commenting, sending Instagram messages work, like easy peasy stuff, right? So I started to create that habit of just waking up earlier. Then I got to the point where I started going to the gym. And I wasn't going to the gym in the morning because waking up early and going to the gym are two separate habits. And they were both brand new for me. Not brand new, but they were both were things I hadn't been doing consistently. Okay. So I didn't want to start doing them together. I wanted to start doing them separate. And then so I started going 3 times to the gym. And then I went 4 times, and now we're at 5 times. Now I've been going since December, January, February, March, April, May. 6 months. 6 months in, and I've just hit where I want to be. Do you think that potentially what's holding you back from creating a new habit is that you want to go from 0 to 100? Do you think potentially that you're not giving yourself the biggest gift you could give yourself, which is to not be in a rush when it comes to accomplishing that goal? Question mark. That's for you guys to think about. So I'm finally at the point where I'm waking up 5 times a week. Okay. What else am I doing behind the scenes to help me wake up early? Number one, it sounds so cliche, but I set everything out the night before. So in the morning, I wake up and I eat half a protein cookie. I take electrolytes with me to the gym and I drink a pre workout. Everything that I would need to take out of a drawer to prepare for that, I put on my counter. I have my gym bag packed, including my keys, my gym card, my AirPods. Upstairs, that's all downstairs. Upstairs, I have my outfit picked. Okay. I don't know what it is, but there's something about getting out of bed and knowing everything is fully ready for you. So that's one thing that's been significant for me. Not gonna lie, the other thing is definitely the pre-workout. So, and the cookie, like I'm like, yeah, I get to wake up and eat a half of a protein cookie. Delicious. I'm excited. And the pre-workout gives me that like boost that maybe I wouldn't have naturally if I was gonna work out in the morning before my eyes opened. So those two things are huge for me for sure. But also getting up to do something I enjoy. So I enjoy lifting weights. I enjoy walking on the treadmill. I enjoy going on the stepper. So if you're trying to drag yourself out of bed to do something you hate, you're not going to do it. Okay. So here's my takeaways for you. Number one, start small. Create tiny incremental habits towards what you're working towards. Okay. Thing number two, make it easy. Make it accessible. Set out all the things that you can set out. Okay. Number three, if it's trying to get up early, try to go to bed. I'm gonna say those words, but I'm not doing those actions. I'm just at this point in my life where my kids go to bed. The other day, I actually went to bed the same time as the kids. they have practice until 9 p.m. So then they get home and then they shower and then they settle into bed and maybe read for a bit or just kind of like decompress. It's like 9:40. I'm not starting a show at 9:40. I'm just not. It's bad news. So I'm going to bed. I did that once. Congratulations, me. Yay, me. Maybe I'll get to a point, guys, where I want to work on the habit of going to bed early, but clearly my actions are reflecting that I don't want to make that a habit right now. My words, I can say all the words. I can say all the words. Ever had a boyfriend that always, or a partner that always said all the words, but never did the actions? You lost trust in that person. I don't care about your words. I want to see your actions. So my words of I'm going to go to bed before 10 that I've said 100 times are not being reflected in my actions where I'm on the couch at 10:15. So I'm not going to say it out loud anymore. Maybe I will get to a point where I want to, but right now I'm just not there. So, but I think if you were a person that was trying to get up early, going to bed earlier would probably be useful. I do sleep in a bit on the weekends, so I do find that like tops me back up. By Monday, I'm feeling a little bit more energetic. It's a bit easier to get out of bed. By Friday, it's a little harder to get out of bed. I'm not going to lie to you. But what gets me out of bed is the habit of it, that I have everything prepped, but also I know what it feels like for it to be 7 a.m. and my workout's done. And the only way for me to feel what that feels like is for me to experience it. And this is my biggest takeaway for anyone that is trying to create any new habit. Instead of pepping yourself up to go to the gym at 5 a.m. for every day of the rest of your life, I want you to pep yourself up to do it once. I want you to say, I'm going to do this once and see how it feels. I'm going to do this just for the experience. And I bet what's going to happen, you're going to be like, that wasn't as bad as I thought. And so then the next day, when your alarm goes off, you have that experience of feeling like it really wasn't that bad. And I loved having it done. I want that feeling again. The feeling can only happen from the experience. So give yourself the opportunity to have that experience. And that goes with any behavior change. Let's say you're trying to not eat like an asshole on the weekend anymore. I want you to say to yourself, I am going to not eat like an asshole this one weekend. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it this one weekend to see what it feels like. Now, in that same breath, you're not just going to flick a switch and have the most, on track weekend of your entire life. You guys know what I mean by on track. I shouldn't have used that terminology, but I think you guys know what I mean, because you're not off track when you're consuming other things. It's just you're living your life. Let's say you're not just going to flick a switch and have a weekend that perfectly aligns with your goals. Okay. So you're going to have to also ask yourself, how could I make the likelihood of that more possible? Same thing as getting up to go to the gym. How could I make the likelihood of me getting up more possible? Make sure I'm doing something I enjoy. When I first started going to the gym, I wasn't even lifting weights. I was just getting on a treadmill because weights felt too scary to me. And when I did start lifting weights, I didn't pick any weights up. I just did the workout, but with my body. Okay. Do you see how gradually we went with it? All right. I'm getting distracted here. So you ask yourself the question, how can I increase the likelihood that this happens? You make it enjoyable. Okay. You prep your environment. You set up your gym clothes. You set out all your stuff. You go to bed early, right? How can I make that more likely? Same as, let's say, eating at night. Let's say you've decided you don't want to eat at night anymore. Here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to say, this is it. I'm never eating at night. And you're like prepping yourself up. You're like, you're already feeling deprived. You're already feeling restricted. You're already feeling like this is going to be so hard, but you're committed to it because you want the weight loss. That's never going to last. Instead of all of that, what if you said to yourself, I'm going to feel what it feels like to not eat at night tonight. And when you're sitting on the couch and your brain goes, hello, remember me? You get off the couch every night and you grab snacks. Like, where's the snacks at? Because your brain's going to do that because it's going to keep you comfortable because you've created that habit and it wants that reinforcement, that familiarity. Your brain's going to look for it and you're going to be like, actually, brain, I'm doing something different today. Not forever, just today. Because when you tell yourself forever, your brain's like, whoa, forever is a long time. I don't want to do that. And then you will actually convince yourself of not doing that thing. Okay. And so we want you to just give yourself an opportunity to have that experience once. So let's say you're trying to change the way you show up at nighttime eating. How can I make it enjoyable? So maybe you have a pre-portioned snack. Don't like eat lettuce. Like if you're trying to go from binging at night on the couch to not binging at night on the couch, don't go lettuce. Go like chips and a chocolate bar, but like a portioned one. So make it enjoyable, okay? Make it accessible. So and make the binging on the couch not as accessible. Like don't buy a Costco bag of chips. Buy individual size bag of chips. Pre-portion it. Don't even have to go in your kitchen. Grab what your nighttime snack's going to be and put it on the couch. And when you finish putting the kids to bed, you get to go and sit and there's your snack. So making it more accessible and just literally asking yourself when you are creating and building new habits, what can I do to increase the likelihood that this gets achieved? That is and that's like a super long list. Maybe it's having a conversation with your spouse. Maybe it's saying, I want to go for a walk after work. Like that's the thing you're trying to change. You're going to have a conversation with your spouse, maybe your kids. Maybe you're going to have to wake up 10 minutes earlier and you do a little bit of dinner prep before you go to work. There's so many different things that you can access that can allow this habit to be easier to build. You just have to be open to trying things. Whether it's waking up early, whether it's changing the way you show up on the weekend, changing the way you show up at night, you have access to this. But one more thing before I let you guys go. We're not victims. Stop being the victim of your circumstance. That is not being accountable, and you are taking your own power away. Own your choices. You will start taking your power back. You will be the CEO. If you choose to not wake up, you say, I don't care what happened the night before, you say, I'm choosing to not wake up because I'm prioritizing sleep. Instead of saying, well, I couldn't wake up early because I was up all night with the kids puking. And I'm not saying that you should go to the gym in the morning when you've been up all night with puking children. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is own why you're not going and own that it is still a choice. Everything you do is a choice. And so if you choose to sit on the couch tonight and binge eat, I want you to own that. I want you to own that and not like, oh, I was so hungry because I barely ate all day. This was the only option. There's always an option. There's always a choice. Okay, guys, I hope this episode inspired you to think about what's happening in your own life and any habits that you're working at creating right now within your own life. And I want you to know that no one is coming to save you, that this is your job. And if you are enjoying conversations like this and you're currently on a weight loss journey, you need to come see us at Your Way Weight Loss. You need to become a member. We have a system where you can come in at any point. We have a starter guide for you, and then you just drop right into watching the coaching sessions and start building your habits and your lifestyles to align with, it's like a byproduct. You start working on your habits and your lifestyles and creating awareness, and you start to create weight loss. And it doesn't feel so hard because you're not trying to create weight loss. You're trying to create new habits and a new lifestyle. And the best part, that's actually going to last because you're building it authentically and slowly. Okay, everyone, have an amazing weekend. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys know my DMs are always open. I'm always looking for new podcast ideas. So if you're like, next week I want you to talk about this, Alicia, send me a DM on Instagram. It's my favorite place to hang out. Bye, guys. Have a great day.